afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am Mel Soul, Director of Instruction and Master Professional at the Mel Soul Golf School. We are located at Pawleys Plantation Golf and Country Club, which is in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is just a half an hour up the road. So for those of you who don't know it, Myrtle Beach is called the golf capital of the world because we've got, I don't know, we used to have over 100 golf courses. Over the last few years, some courses have closed. We now got maybe 90 golf courses. So you guaranteed good golf courses, tons of restaurants, and then some great instruction. How can you go wrong? Okay, so today I want to talk about a shot that I see often when I'm teaching. The first hole is just to the right of our teaching range, and there's a long bunker down the right hand side of the first hole. When I see golfers that are 30 yards and they've got a long bunker shot, they're in the sand, inevitably they leave the ball short and they leave it in the bunker and they go bump, 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 bump down and they waste some strokes. It's because they're taking a club with too much loft. Because they're in a bunker, they think I've got to use the sand wedge. When you have a long bunker shot, and what I've done here is I've put my golf bag out there so that you have some kind of point of reference. I've got a long way to carry the ball. I want to carry the ball and land it about where the golf bag is. Now, depending on the amount of roll that I want, depending on where the flag is, I will usually use two clubs. I've got my gap wedge and my pitching wedge. Those are the two clubs I would use for this shot. The pitching wedge and the gap wedge are going to go roughly the same trajectory, but the pitching wedge will have far less spin, and so it's going to roll a little bit further. So if I need the ball to roll out a bit more, I'll use the pitching wedge. If not, the gap wedge. So I'm going to use the gap wedge in this case. If I'm practicing, what I want to do, as I've said many times, is draw a line about 2 inches behind the ball. That's where I want the club to strike the ground, so it helps me focus my eyes there. It also helps me, after I've hit the shot, I can see where I struck the ground. If I'm not hitting it in the right place, obviously I've got to work on that. So I've got my gap wedge. My ball position is still the same, but directly off my left heel. My eyes are not focused on the ball. My eyes are focused 2 inches behind the ball. I make a bigger swing. Carried, and wow, if we got the camera in here, we could see my divot is right on my line. So I hit exactly 2 inches behind the ball. The ball carried maybe a yard or two further than I intended, so that would have run out a little bit. But that's a nice shot to know. Again, it's another shot that you need to have in your arsenal, so when you're required to play the shot, you know exactly what to expect, and you also know what club to take. So go and practice this shot. Don't spend hours and hours, because this shot you're going to use once every 4 rounds maybe, but it's a nice shot to know. Every now and again I'm required to play this shot, and I'm so glad that I've spent time working on it. Improve your short game, lower your scores.